The name of the AEW video game may have been possibly revealed. We're going to talk about it all in today's video. So make sure you guys click that like button, drop a comment down below, and as always, don't forget to subscribe.
You have arrived at your destination.
Alright guys, welcome back to Destination Pro Wrestling. It's your boy Tony, and as always, you can follow me on Twitter at Tango with Ango. Thank you for stopping by. We have some very interesting All Elite Wrestling news today, and we're going to talk about it because it revolves around the idea of an AEW video game. Now, as you guys know, since day one, we've been covering AEW. We've also done a lot of digging about the AEW video game, and there's been a lot of talk about this, and a lot of people on social media seem to be really excited about this, mainly because of the situation at hand with WWE 2K20, which in all honesty is a whole conversation for another video. But we're going to tie a little bit of that into today's video because some of it will hopefully make some sense for you guys. And then ultimately, you guys are the consumers. You guys are the ones who buy the video games. So I'll let you guys know if AEW's video game would be worth buying. Of course, we're still waiting for official confirmation from AEW. But as you guys know, we have been following a lot of the trademarks that AEW as a company have made. And it's really interesting because we learned about a new trademark. And that trademark is AEW Evolution. Now, a lot of times, people take this information with a grain of salt, and in all honesty, I can understand why you would, especially because these are just rumors. So just keep that in mind. This is a rumor, but we're going to kind of dive into this because it makes a lot of sense for AEW as a company. And I think a lot of people in general will actually enjoy today's news if it does come to fruition. So if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, AEW Evolution is a new trademark by the company. Now, AEW has pretty much already come out and said, look, we are going to have 4 pay-per-views. These 4 pay-per-views are going to have a yearly occurrence, right? So Double or Nothing, All Out, Full Gear. Like, these are the things that we should expect on a yearly basis. And for whatever reason, there's one more that I just cannot think of off the top of my mind. I could have sworn it was Fight for the Fallen, but I could be wrong. But it's one of those shows that they're going to do every single year at the same building, same time, that type of thing. And I really like that idea of AEW doing that just because I don't think, I think it's a lot harder for television purposes, but I think it's a lot better. Pay-per-views are $60 with AEW. There's no luxury of the WWE network. So if you think about it, you're only going to spend the $60 4 different times a year versus once every month or once every 2 weeks. So AEW Evolution, we could pretty much cross off the list of AEW pay-per-views. And then the rumor suggested that AEW could very well name one of their television episodes AEW Evolution. And while that would make sense, the information that the trademark was filed under, I believe, has nothing to do with a television name. So that kind of debunks that rumor. And basically, from what I've gathered online, it seems as if AEW Evolution could very well become the name of the AEW video game, which is exciting because a lot of people have been following the news about an AEW video game, and it looks like 2020 could very well be a strong possibility for the debut of this game, especially when you consider holiday 2020. That's going to be about a year from now. It's been rumored that Yukes has been working on this game for a long time, and then, of course, there was some sort of agreement. I don't know if these things are true, but if AEW and Yukes have come to an agreement at some point in the last several months, pretty much Yukes has the engine, they have the game, they just have to, obviously use the license to get the characters and the arenas and things like that, which very well could take place in 12 months. So at this point, I would predict that they've probably had a little bit over 12 months to establish this game. Now, while there has been no official confirmation that Yukes is working with AEW, everybody saw kind of the situation at hand with WWE 2K. And that's why I'm bringing up Yukes, because it's very, 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 it's a very good guess. It's a good assumption to make that possibly AEW and Yukes are working together. We've been talking about this for a while. And it looks like AEW Evolution could very well become the name of the AEW video game, which, from my perspective, I think this would be a really, really good idea, especially when you consider that holiday 2020, there is going to be new generation consoles. WWE 2K has kind of struggled these last few years. This year was the culmination of that. A lot of copies did not sell. The game went on an incredible sale, but a lot of people were just not happy with that game. And in all honesty, I understand why. So if you're going to have new consoles launched next year, Yukes being at the forefront working with AEW would very well make sense. And it would also be really cool for AEW to kind of, do a little bit more than just television and pay-per-views. And I think this right here kind of cements that. Having a video game for people to interact with. Because you got to remember, there's a lot of people who still buy wrestling video games but don't watch the product. And that's because they enjoy wrestling video games. I know a lot of people who are in that same boat, and I can totally understand why somebody who, loved wrestling games growing up would possibly buy an AEW video game. Now, the idea of AEW's video game being titled AEW Evolution, I think makes a lot of sense. It definitely fits AEW. The company continues to evolve. I mean, this is absolutely an evolution of a startup that seems to be doing pretty well immediately after launching. And I think it just shows that wrestling fans have been craving for something like this. Wrestling fans have desperately wanted something like this, and I'm glad it seems to be happening. Now, of course, like I said, there's no confirmation. There's no word that AEW is, in fact, naming the game AEW Evolution. There's no sort of confirmation that the video game is being made by Yukes. These are all assumptions based on the rumors that are out there. But again, it's a pretty safe guess. AEW Evolution would be a really, really nice game if Yukes is putting 100% of their ability into the game. I think everybody knows that Yukes can make a really good wrestling game when they really try, when they have the assets. And I think also at the same time, to kind of bring up the WWE stuff, WWE 2K is on a yearly drop, right? Like every year there's a new video game. I don't foresee that happening with AEW. So I think the idea of AEW getting DLC or kind of following the same structure as like Fire Pro, I think that would be a very unique thing to AEW. It's going to keep AEW's video game fresh and probably promote longevity, which is something that's been a huge issue with WWE 2K. So ultimately, this is a good move for AEW if it is in fact happening, but it's also a better move for the consumers because they need pro wrestling game options. Now, there are some other games that have been independently made, but if we're going to be honest, a lot of them just flat out suck. And I get it. They don't have the budget like, Yukes or 2K or whatever it may be. But in all honesty, 2K20 also was not a good game as well. And 2K is a huge company. So we all saw how that drama played out. It definitely didn't look that good for 2K and WWE. And that's not WWE's fault, so just keep that in mind. This is not like, let's blame WWE. Just like if AEW's video game sucks, let's not take that out on AEW. We all remember Impact's wrestling game, TNA Impact. It was a fun game in my opinion, but there were some things that obviously sucked about it. That doesn't make me hate TNA. That's obviously not their fault. It's just the license that's being granted, but I'm excited, guys. I really want to see what AEW Evolution will come out to. The fact that this could very well possibly be the first AEW video game, I think it's cool. I also like the idea of AEW not following the trend of sports games. NBA 2K10, 2K11, 2K12, 2K13. You catch my drift. And that's kind of the same thing that we've seen with FIFA and MLB and things like that. So the idea of AEW having a video game, perhaps maybe every 2 years one comes out, it could be really cool. And then, of course, if you have a DLC schedule, that would make a lot of sense too. So ultimately, I just want to know what you guys think, because AEW's video game seems to be a very popular topic on this channel. A lot of people are craving a new wrestling video game. So I'm actually going to throw up a poll on today's video. And I want you guys to go ahead and vote in this poll. Yes or no, will you guys buy the AEW video game? Regardless of who's producing the game, regardless of who's directing it, regardless of all the information. Right now, as of today, would you make that purchase? And I think a lot of people, I'm going to foreshadow, I'm going to assume a lot of people will say yes, because they're going to want something different from WWE. Regardless if the game is good, regardless if it sucks, whatever it may be, I think people want something different. And I think that's exactly what they will get. I'm not saying it's going to be the best video game. I really don't know. But the idea that the video game will, in fact, be titled AEW Evolution is very, very interesting. And I'm curious to see what happens. So, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And don't forget to vote in that poll. And if you guys want to turn this channel from a bedroom vlogger, right, a guy who just talks on the mic, analyzing pro wrestling and news and stuff like that, you guys obviously don't want me just chilling in the bedroom all the time. So click that subscribe button so we could go from this to like one of those really fancy ESPN style studios. I think that's kind of the goal, right? 2020 is coming soon. A lot of new content on the channel. Guys, I will see you soon. Thanks for watching at Tango with Angle on Twitter, and I'll see you guys next time.
You have arrived at your destination.